What's going on, everybody? It's Frank from AM Ramen, and I am right now in Tokyo's glitzy Ginza district, and I'm going to be having a Tsukemen or dipping ramen to match. This is supposed to be luxurious Tsukemen or dipping ramen, and it is priced at about 1.5 what you'd normally pay. I'm excited. I've heard a lot about this place, and we're looking at a fancier, let's say more luxurious type of ramen. Let's go. Welcome back to 5 AM Ramen, your #1 source for ramen information directly from Japan. Whether you have a deep interest in ramen or just want to learn about the best ramen restaurants to visit in Japan, you've come to the right place. I'm Frank, your ramen-loving host. My body goes into shock if I don't regularly eat ramen. This evening, we're in the Tokyo upscale commercial district of Ginza, home to shops selling famous high-end brands and plenty of expensive places to eat. This is where people in their 40s and above go to splurge. But Ginza is also home to a crazy amount of great ramen shops. It's kind of a fun contrast considering how shiny and fancy everything is in Ginza. The Ginza ramen scene is deliciously diverse too. You've got everything from classic bowls of shoyu or soy sauce seasoned ramen to modern Michelin star ramen. Yes, Ginza now has a brand new Michelin star ramen restaurant. I just covered this topic, Ginza Hakuei and their newly awarded Michelin star, in the previous video. Feel free to check that one out if you haven't already. So, ramen-wise, Ginza has everything. Classic ramen to modern, luxurious ramen. We're focusing on the latter today, and the ramen restaurant we're zooming in on is Ginza Hakuei. The ramen restaurant looking exterior leads to a basement with an interior that's fancier for a ramen restaurant. At the end of your meal, there's even an elevator that takes you back to the surface. It all feels like a VIP experience. As part of this, the ramen is priced higher than what you'd normally get at other Tokyo ramen restaurants. Now, Ginza Hakuei has got both ramen and Tsukemen, or dipping ramen. But it seems like the Tsukemen is the creme de la creme, so I ordered that. The golden colored rich soup on the left is Aomori whole chickens and Edomae shijimi clams, a beautiful balance struck between the two. In terms of the luxury side of things, the noodles on the right are sprinkled with truffle oil, and there's some mousse in the middle, which I'll talk about later. The meat toppings are Wagyu beef, duck, and pork. Lastly, the soup wari, which is basically hot dashi broth added to any leftover soup that you have, has kelp and bonito in it. Let's get my full recap on the ground after this deluxe ramen, or I should say Tsukemen meal. Okay, so I just wrapped up at Hakuei. It's everything I thought it would be. There's beautiful jazz music playing in the background. They make you really feel at home. There's even a fancy little mask holder you can take home. And on the mask holder, they basically have the details of how to eat your Tsukemen and also what the ingredients are. It was a fantastic bowl. Now, it was on the higher side. It was 1,500 yen. Normally what you pay in Tokyo is anywhere from 800 to 1,500 yen ramen or dipping ramen, Tsukemen alike. Yeah, you kind of pay for the experience. And I will say, I liked it a lot. It was definitely going in a more modern direction. You had this rich golden chicken flavor coming from whole chickens and also a golden chicken color there, really golden. And in the background, you had this beautiful shijimi clam flavor as well. So perfectly balanced, I think, between those two. You also had little bits of negi inside the soup, adding some sweetness and nice little crunch when you dipped in those noodles. Now, where it took a really modern turn was the clam mousse that they had on top there. That mousse made the broth very creamy, but it worked oh so well. It didn't feel out of place, even when I ended up dunking a big chunk of the mousse inside that soup. You had little cut radishes on top, and of course, as is typical for modern ramen or Tsukemen shops, you had a nice showcase of different types of meat, different types of cuts, everything from, let's say, cuts that were leaning more towards cold cuts, and then your softer sous vide style pork chashu. Delicious, delicious overall. And last but not least, those noodles were extra thick. They're basically made from 100% wheat flour coming from Shinshu,
or basically Nagano Prefecture. Everything about it screamed, I think, luxury, but even though I paid a little bit more, I totally dug that bowl. I think I'd like to go back and try their ramen. And again, this place very much matches, I think, the glitzy area of Ginza where I am. As I say that, you can see the pavement behind me literally sparkling. This was a bowl I very much enjoyed, if you can't tell.
Also, the next video on 5 AM Ramen is going to be a test of spice tolerance and maybe some stupidity too. My younger brother and I will be diving into what is Japan's spiciest instant noodles. There's even a warning label on the packaging for these instant noodles. Watch us try to survive, suffer, and quote some Lord of the Rings. This will be in the next video. We're switching gears and diving into instant ramen, Japan's spiciest.
I hope you enjoyed this quick ramen shop review video, and if that's the case, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. Frank from 5 AM Ramen signing out, and hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. We'll wait until the helicopter is gone.